Yeah, let's talk about the books that I read in March. In March, I read 6, almost 7 books. I'm 70% of the way through a book from March. Then I'm going to continue in April. But yes, I read 6 books. Oh, and remember how last time I said I was going to put the pictures of the books in that I didn't have? Yeah, I just didn't do that. It was so hard. I just couldn't figure it out, but I really want to try to figure it out for this one because I just want to do that. Like, that's what I like to see in videos, so that's what I want to do. And I'll have an opportunity to right now because the first book I read I do not own. I listened to the audiobook from the library, which was really good. And that was Pines by Blake Crouch. First of all, I gave this book 4 stars. I quite enjoyed it. This is a mystery. This is a sci-fi thriller mystery, I would say. I keep getting cat hairs on my face. I can feel them tickling me. Okay, yeah, so this book is following the perspective of a man named Ethan Burke, and he is a Secret Service agent, and yeah, he's traveling to this town to search for other Secret Service agents that went missing, and then he gets in a car accident and wakes up in a hospital in a town called Wayward Pines. And the whole town is very odd. Like the people that he is trying to get information from, like the nurse, oh my god, the nurse is so freaking annoying. The sheriff, then he goes to the sheriff, like all around the town, like everybody's just super like unhelpful and annoying, and he can't get like his belongings, he can't contact anyone on the outside, like he can't get in contact with his work or his family. A lot of the book is that like him confused in the town, like trying to find his things. Like, yeah, it's a huge mystery, twists all over the place, and just weird stuff and clues, and then like a huge twist at the end, which I was shocked by because I'm not very good at guessing like things like that. Even if there's hints, I guess I'm still like pretty oblivious when it comes to like mysteries in books or like movies or TV or something like that. Which, speaking of TV, I tried watching the show. What can I say about the show? Well, I didn't finish it. I found the show very strange. It was going really fast. Like halfway through the first episode, we're like at the end of the first book. So it's like, oh, okay, well, I shouldn't keep watching because I don't know if I want to continue in the series. I think it's a trilogy. At this point, I don't really care. Like, I don't really care to, honestly. But... And also, I would if the library just had all the audiobooks, but they only have the first and the third one, so yeah, it's kind of tough. But if they ever get the second one, I might just go ahead and listen to it. The next book I read is Pirate Latitudes by Michael Crichton. Oh, there he is, really huge. Jeez. I did end up tabbing this a little bit because there were a lot of like really interesting descriptions in this that I enjoyed, which I tend to find that in his work. Like, I love how he writes and like the details he adds of like real science and nature and history facts. I don't know. Yeah, so this book takes place in 1600 something in Jamaica when it was a British colony, which kind of like was like, whoa, like what the hell to me, because I just read last month about colonization. So yeah, we got to see some of that in action in here, and what that might have looked like on the ground and in the towns and in the slums. And yeah, but that was just a little bit of it. But mainly this book was a pirate heist type book, and like journey over the seas and struggling with all of that. And it's like there's this the whole goal of the book is to steal a treasure ship, like a ship full of treasures from the Spanish. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I gave this 4 stars as well, actually. It reminded me of Pirates of the Caribbean, which I really love. I really fell in love with them when I was a kid, and like pirates in general, and this made me like feel that piratey feeling again, which was really cool. See, this is why like this month, April, I want to do it more of like a vlog style and talk about the books as I go, so that like I have like it's right there, like it's fresh for me to talk about. I feel like I'll have so much more to say. This was drawn from this is one of the books drawn from the mugs, so that was another success. Okay, the next book I read is I'm gonna put it, I swear I'm gonna put it. Was A Woman Is No Man by Etaf Rum. And this book was 5 stars. This is a perfect book. This is a perfect book. Yeah, this book is absolutely heart-wrenching and devastating and infuriating. It's just a perspective I appreciate so much getting to hear from. This is a book about Palestinian immigrants to Brooklyn or somewhere in New York City. And it goes into 3 generations of Palestinian women, I believe all Palestinian. And it went into, oh my gosh, like, well, it mostly was about like women and obviously because it's from the perspectives of 3 generations of women, and it's about how they're impacted by the repressive patriarchal nature of their religion and their culture, and how their families you know, I don't know, they basically like arranged marriage their daughters off, and they want sons. Basically they want sons, they don't really want daughters. And how the woman's place is to serve, to please her husband in any way that they possibly can, and yeah, and an attempt to like break that cycle. I love this book so much. I am glad I'm doing this project with the mugs to get books off my shelf, because as always there's so many more books I want to put on my shelf, and this is definitely one of them that I want to buy for myself so I can reread it and annotate it. And yeah, so good. And she has a few other books I saw, so definitely want to check those out as well. Oh yeah, and this reminded me of a book I read years ago called Girls Burn Brighter by Shobha Rao, and that book was so excellent. And that's another one that I really have been wanting to buy for like years now. The next book I read, I also do not own, but I would like to. And I didn't even realize that the last book was going to be about Palestinians, because it goes with this, which is The 100 Years' War on Palestine. A history of settler colonial conquest and resistance. Oh my gosh. This is the book that I'm 70% of the way through, because this book takes a lot to get through. Like, this takes a lot of my brain and my heart. You know, it's just, I try to be constantly reading at least like one book about that's nonfiction and is about current world issues. And this is the one for right now. By Rashid Khalidi. Yes, and like I said, I'm planning to finish this in April, and then I also have been really wanting to watch the documentary No Other Land, which I don't know if won an Oscar, but it was nominated for an Oscar. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that this month, and then I will talk more about that book, more about this book and that documentary in April also. But what I do want to say about the book, which is very, very impressive and informative so far, I would have to say. I mean, I feel like I'm still just like starting my education on Palestine and what's been going on there since 1917, as it were, and is now, unfortunately and very sadly and devastatingly, about to be the 110 years war in Palestine, because we're about to be in 2027, almost, kind of, and it's just getting worse, always. It's worse all the time. So this, what I thought was really interesting about this author is that his family, he has like generations of his family going back in Palestine, and his great uncle was a mayor, and they had like a family library that kept like a whole history of like the region and like the people and the families and everything, which ended up getting mostly destroyed, but they like saved some of it. I could make videos on videos on videos on this topic, and I might. I might actually do that. For now, I'm just gonna say, I'll keep reading the book. All I keep seeing is Israel stomping their little selves in the land and then just expanding and expanding and expanding, killing and killing and killing and killing, breaking every type of agreement that they could ever make with anyone. I mean, I'm gonna finish the book. I definitely want to watch, like, honestly, I would watch like an hour or something of somebody else talking about the book, so I feel like I understand it better. And then, yeah, I'm gonna watch that documentary. I'm always reading and looking more on this because I can't help myself. It bothers me so much. Like, I hate it so much. Yeah. Oh yeah, and I have like, in my other notebook, I have this other notebook that I like take notes as I'm reading. I have just like pages and pages and pages of notes, but it's like, I don't know who wants to sit here and like listen to all of that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'll try to sum it up better in another video coming soon. Okay. Then the next book I listened to on audio as well from the library was A Drop of Corruption by Robert Jackson Bennett, which is the sequel to, what the fuck is it called? I know what it's called. Just hold on. I know what it's called. This one's called A Drop of Corruption. What was that one called? I have to look. I'm irritated. The Tainted Cup. I knew that. Okay. Yes. This got a... Oh. I will talk about this. Well, I'll just talk about it now. As far as the last book, 100 Years War on Palestine, I'm not going to give a rating. I pretty much will always never rate a nonfiction book because I just feel like I shouldn't. I don't know why. But yeah, for A Drop of Corruption, this got a 4.5 stars from me. this was so amazing. I thought it was just as good as the first one, if not even better. Yeah, another really like complicated murder mystery dealing with like a plant, and the main characters are just as great as they are in the first one. You get to like a few little like hints about like each of their personalities a little bit more, which I enjoyed because they're both a little bit like mysterious themselves. Yeah, I love this. I actually would not mind getting these books as well, because I think I would enjoy reading them physically and getting to like appreciate them more in like the language and the descriptions and things like that. Isn't that great? I'm just like finding so many books, more books I want to buy. It's not really what I should be doing. Okay, the next book I read was my next physical book that I picked out of a jar, which was Soulless by Gail Carriger. As you can see, I absolutely loved it. Oh, this book was so fun, quirky. This was just like my fun little like escape this month. Like this just felt like, yeah, this just felt like so fun and lovely to get to read. So this book takes place in Victorian England, following a main character called Alexia Terabody. And her best friend's name is Ivy Hisselpenny. They're so cute. Anyway, these are adult novels, by the way. These are adult, I would say. Well, yeah, they are adult. A teen could enjoy them though. All of her book, I've read 4 of her other books. They've all been like so like fun and like kind of silly at times. This one was definitely more silly than her other series, I feel. But it was also serious and a little bit scary at times, because there was like a whole mystery going on with disappearing, well, this book has vampires and werewolves in it, so there was like disappearing vampires and werewolves. And there was this like really, really creepy character in this that like kind of gave me a chill at the same time as like I'm having so much fun, which I really, really love when a book can do that. And the whole thing is there's vampires and werewolves, okay, and ghosts, which we haven't encountered yet really. Then there's like our main character is this secret third thing that like nobody else knows about, called a preternatural, and it means that if she touches a supernatural being, they'll turn into immortal while she's touching them. So yeah, this is just really fun. I have the second one, I can't wait to read it, and yeah, there's 5 books in the series, so I need to get the rest of them. Yeah. Okay, back to series. I read the next chapter in The New Age of Empire, called Dawn of a New Age. And this was about the period after World War II, in which the Western world decided to move into a post-racial society. And this is where they're saying like, oh, racism is over. Like, we got rid of racism, it's over. No one's racist anymore, which is like obviously just not true. Like, it's just clearly not true. Like, today it's more clear than ever before to me that it's not true, and every single day it gets clearer, I would say. However, okay, yes, and it was this was spurred on by like white people seeing the Holocaust, I think, and seeing that this genocidal racist machine can be used against white people as well. And they're like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. We gotta stop this. We gotta stop racism. We gotta stop now. Like, hundreds and hundreds of years of like all types of like just genocidal atrocities against people of color. Crickets. Okay. Yes, and then the other thing this chapter focused on was the World Bank and the IMF, which is the International Monetary Fund, and these are two Western controlled funds that they use to give aid to underdeveloped countries that are desperate and they have nowhere else to turn to. But it has like all these horrible conditions that actually like makes things worse. Like statistically, it made things worse for the countries and like destabilized them more, made them more what is it? Oh, increased income inequality, increased incidence of torture and extrajudicial killing for some reason. Like what? Like what? Why that? I'm a little still unclear on that, but oh, and it also talked about how the West destabilized Latin America for decades. Basically, the whole message of this at the end was the reason that the West can be so rich is because the rest of the world is poor. Like they sap the wealth from and cause the poverty of the global south, or like, you know, the underdeveloped world. So the West can never like actually fix these problems just through giving aid and donating and things like that, because the West is the cause of the problem, like in the first place. Oh yeah. And the next thing is, the other thing I wanted to say is that there became this idea of the white man's burden of like shining light in the shining, what is it? What do they say? I can't remember what they said exactly, but it's like, it's basically like bringing civilization and civility, like proper culture, aka white Christian culture, to like the impoverished or like backwards people. It's the white man's burden to lift them from the darkness. And the other thing I wanted to say is half of the world lives on $5.50 a day. To qualify for the working class, you only need to earn $4 a day. Oh, and then there was a whole section on Israel and the United States relationship together, and Palestine and all that. So yeah, that was interesting to read about, as I had just been reading 100 Years War. So it's all connected. It's all connected. Okay, I think that's the last thing I want to say on that. But next, in April, I will be reading chapter 6 called The Non-White West. Ooh, interesting. Okay. The last book I read was To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Chris Paolini. Do you know how long this is? This is 825 pages. So, I just want to touch on something I learned in this reading experience about myself, which is that I need to be okay DNFing a book if I literally am not enjoying anything about it. I mean, okay, I wouldn't say literally nothing about it. I enjoyed 2 little things about it. Well, they're not little. Okay, let me just get into it. I gave it 2 stars. Okay, another thing I want to say. Look at here. You can see I started tabbing it, and then this is when I decided, like, I don't care. I don't care enough. And then I still was like, well, there are some books that I just read for fun, and I don't care to tab them, and they're just, like, a fun time. And I thought that, like, I'm okay with that, like, but this has turned into, like, okay, let me just talk about what it's about. Because this is something that's actually interesting to me, the main plot, which is the only reason I kept reading, is because I wanted to find out what happened with this, but I wish I didn't, and I don't even care, and I should have just, like, read it online. Um, it's about a girl called Kira. We're like way in the future, like in the 20 something hundreds. I can't remember what year it is, but we're all like colonized all over space. We done like cryogenic sleep travels into deep space, far away. Colonized all over the place. We like encountered all these different alien species and stuff like that. So she's like a scientist in space, and she's exploring a planet or something, and it has like this alien temple in it that she falls into, which is really sick. And then like all this like black stuff starts getting all over her and like crawling up all over her and all over her body, and she gets all covered in this black Xeno suit, which is like, it's an alien creature, but it's a suit, and it like fuses with her body and like gets all over her body and she can't get it off. And then like, yeah, that sounds really cool. Like, that's a really cool idea. Like, but then like what actually happened with it was just like way too long. Like, I just feel like if this book was cut in half, it might have actually been interesting and fun. But everything was so dragged out and so like elongated, and yeah, I just felt like this needed to be edited down so much, like in half at least. Oh, the other thing is like reading this book, I'm in my mind and in my soul, I'm like, I know this is YA. This is a YA book. And I thought it was going to be adult for some reason. And I don't remember why I thought that. And I'm like, oh, it's YA. That's fine. Like, it's just not what I was expecting, but I'll see. I just feel like I gave it a fair try, and like I gave it everything I could give it, and I shouldn't have given it so much. Yeah, so I'm actually going to be unhauling this, which is good because it's huge and it takes up a bunch of space and I don't need to have it. And I don't like it and it makes me angry. It's just like, the idea could have been so cool, but then it's clearly YA. Okay, let me get back to that. It's clearly YA. Everything's coming across YA. And then I go to the back flap and it says this is his first adult novel. Chris. I hate when authors do that. I hate when this is one of a pet peeve of mine, which I found this repeatedly when an author wrote only like middle grader YA, and then they come out with their first adult novel and it's just like clearly still YA, but they're like, no, it's adult. And it's like, no, it's not. Okay. Yes, so this is not what I thought it was gonna be. It had potential, but it didn't pan out. Oh, the other thing I liked was this character Gregorovich. He was a ship mind, which is like he like fused with a spaceship somehow. I don't even know. I thought that was a cool idea, and I thought he was funny and interesting. That was pretty much it. I shouldn't have read this. I'm getting rid of it. Okay. That was March. In April, like I said, I'm hoping to do more vlog type content because number one, I want to get more into detail about how I'm feeling about the books in the moment that I'm reading them, and not like at the end of the month I have to sit here and think about every single book I ever read, and yeah, it's kind of like a lot. Plus, I want to post a little bit more often. I'm hoping to do like a vlog every 2 weeks. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but that's kind of what I'm hoping to get to eventually for now. But yeah. Okay, see you next time.